Hey guys, what's up? This is Green Miller coming at you with yet another video. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Xbox One Slim. This is the 2 terabyte model. Obviously you must get the largest capacity you can because 500 gigs on the Xbox One just goes away like that. So anyway, right off the bat I'm going to say I don't think that this is a good purchase if you already own an Xbox One in working condition. Mine does not. It got really damaged when I moved here. Just go ahead and look at what's inside here. Instruction manual. So this one is kind of interesting. It doesn't use a power brick like the previous generation Xbox One. Instead we just have an infinity cable that plugs directly into the Xbox One. Of course we get a new Xbox One controller, an HDMI cord. Let's take a look at this new controller though. So apparently this one supports Bluetooth like the DualShock 4. Of course we get the 2 AA batteries. We get the Xbox One stands so we can set it vertically. We got 14 days of gold. I don't need this, so whoever wants that. And then we have, oh my. It's like whenever you go from a VCR to a DVD player, that's what it feels like I'm looking at right now. That's peculiar. So I don't know if you can see that, but apparently mine has some kind of like blue scratch on it. I don't know why. It's kind of interesting. I mean, it's a little bit narrower. It's definitely a lot thinner. I'm gonna give it that. This stand on top of this is the same thickness as the original Xbox One. Man, this thing is just so massive. I kinda like it though. This actually feels heavier. Yeah, I don't know why. This one feels a lot heavier, even though it's smaller.
Yeah, that's because the power brick's internally dumb fuck.
Is that locked? Ooh. That's a satisfying locking noise. Even with this stand, it's still shorter. It looks like a Wii. Kind of looks like how the Wii should have looked. More powerful. That's what I'm saying. Of course, now we have real buttons. They feel kind of cheap, sound kind of cheap, but it's much better than this shit that always turned on and off on accident, because why not? I believe there's no power brick though. One thing I want to point out that I just read on this is that this console supports 100 to 240 volts at 50 or 60 hertz, which that's important if you travel to Europe. Unlike this, which shipped with a power brick specifically for the region that it was going to, this does not have that issue, so you can just put an adapter on the end of it. Alright guys, so at this point I've had a little bit more time to go ahead and mess with the system rather than just telling you tech specs. So this is going to be my overall compressed review of this system. So first of all, let's talk about the new controller. It is a beautiful controller. I'm sure it's going to get dirty if you eat Cheetos with it. Moving on to its actual technical part though, the Bluetooth is amazing. It allows you to connect it to your laptop, smartphone, tablet, and play games on it, just like you would a DualShock 4 or a standard Bluetooth gamepad, which is a really nice addition. And I think it kind of helps Microsoft tie together their whole new ecosystem where they're trying to tie Xbox Live and Windows 10 into one entity instead of being two individual platforms. Moving on, we now also have a 3.5mm headphone jack. This was not present on the previous controller. Instead, you had to buy a separate $25 adapter, but that adapter did give you wonderful control with physical hardware buttons of changing both in-game and in-chat volume, as well as muting the microphone on demand. While as with the 3.5mm headphone jack on the current controller, you have to do that through setting. Now this is completely fine, except for whatever reason Microsoft has decided to make it so that you cannot connect your adapter to your new controller. Last thing with the controller is we now have a nice textured grip. It feels very nice, although I'm sure there's going to be someone complaining that they don't like the way it feels. It always happens. So moving on to the improvements with the console itself. Of course, one of the biggest things is now we have the physical hardware buttons instead of the capacitive touch. This is very nice because it means that I won't be continuously turning the Xbox on or off when I'm grabbing for something on the media center. It's thinner, it's more compact, takes up less space, no power brick, multiple voltage, yada yada yada. It supports 4K and HDR content, as well as the new standard 4K Blu-ray, which I can't really test because I'm still rocking a television from 2012. However, I do plan to upgrade by the end of the year, so hopefully by that time I'll be able to enjoy this content and not actually just say, my console can do 4K video. Other than that, you also have slightly improved graphics capability, of which you'll yield slightly higher frame rates in most titles, and to me it does feel a tad smoother in the games that I've played with it. However, I have no actual numbers to back that up. Other websites, however, do have numbers to back it up, and even though I feel like there's a difference, I'm really not sure how much of that difference I'm actually feeling or how much of it I actually think I'm feeling. Anyway guys, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and until next time, have a good one. They feel kind of cheap.